everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. We're getting ready to go into our third game of the day. This is the EBL's Z10 taking on the Dark Regions. Big and big. Lost a pretty heavy-handed loss to Fnatic Rising from the NLC yesterday, so they're looking to fire back a little bit here because that loss was pretty dominant from Fnatic.
It was, and we're going to take a look at Z10 first, because this was, I want to say, a pretty decent game from Zero Tenacity. This is the team from the Balkans, the #1 seed coming through there. Pretty dominant in their domestic region, and as the Balkans in general, we kind of think of them as like playing spoilers. But this is a team that did make it out of groups, but they haven't done it since a region, sorry, that has made it out of groups. They haven't done it since 2018, the very first EU Masters. So they never look bad. The thing is, they just never quite look that step above. And I think we saw flashes of good stuff yesterday. You can see from these highlight packages, like it's a lot of Z10, right? So hopefully you can see a bit more of that. But Fnatic Big, as you said yesterday, was a big game for Fnatic and a huge win for the NLC.
Yeah, and I mean, that went the fight we're seeing here is the one fight where, you know, Bean maybe overstayed a little bit, over-aggression coming out from him. But, you know, on the side of Z10, you know, you got Mummus, a very storied player and kind of the globe at this point, really. But still pretty comfortable name within the ERL scene. So I feel like if you're Z10, a lot of those replays contained Mummus popping off on the Renekton. So I feel like if you're Z10, that is someone you can look to play through. We'll have to see as we're moving into chat select. We'll see where the attention goes this time around, as Z10 are on this blue side, Big on the red. So the first ban's going to be here. What they're going to look to try and focus out here. Probably just more of the standard stuff for now. Yeah,
to start with the standard stuff. Get rid of the strong picks you don't want to play against, the solo or the junglers. There's going to be the Lee Sin taken away. From Akabane, it's his most played champion, so it makes a lot of sense. Get rid of a power pick. That is also a comfort pick. Gonna slap that one down. Big, obviously, as well. I didn't even really mention, but their previous winners of EU Masters. You know, Germany hasn't really made a huge splash on the EUM scene since Big won it all in 2019, I believe that was 2019 summer. Something like that. And so now they're really just looking to make that comeback. You know, like Big. This is an organization that has won it all. They know what it means to win, and they're coming here obviously with similar goals to do that. And against Fnatic, really not off to a good start. Both these teams are around one. One of those teams is going to break that with this game.
It's going to be the first with one of these teams as the Jace, the Rakan get banned away, followed up with the Ezreal. Final ban here for Z10. Don't want to give that over to Keduii. Big now looking for their final ban. Things like the Xin Zhao is open. We've actually seen Xin Zhao being left open quite a lot today. And teams maybe not kind of prioritizing it as high as we did in previous splits or previous patches. We'll see whether or not, you know, maybe that's just kind of like a micro meta that is starting to develop, or maybe, you know, teams are just preferring, you know, the likes of the Viego. Viego's been such a powerful such a powerful jungler. Maybe not been shown off quite to its full might as of late. We did see might on the Aurelia yesterday for Z10, and pretty good performance if you're watching, even just off those replay packages. Some pretty good stuff coming out from that. So understandable pickup here, but this has left the likes of the Xin Zhao, the Viego. If you want to go for one of those AD junglers, it looks like with that Thresh open, they're going to give that over that in the support role.
What I quite like about Thresh first picks, or just early Thresh picks in general in your draft, is you don't have to decide what style of bot lane you're playing like at all until like your last pick, because Thresh mixes with everyone really, really well. If you want to go for a more, you know, you can match people like Aphelios or Jinx with him, who are otherwise would be like too vulnerable to play. You can mix more playmaking champions with him as well, because he just does it already. But the downside of picking this Thresh early is, you know, that does leave the Viego open, who, as you mentioned, has very high priority, really, really strong. We saw him last game, wasn't able to pick out the W, but still, I don't know what his presence is so far in EUM, but it must be absolutely massive. Like, I swear we see this guy all the time. And no surprise to see Keduii's Tristana either. It's basically, Keduii is Tristana, essentially. Like, I swear every single time that we've seen him at EU Masters, I remember him back in like 2018 as well. I think he was playing for SK back then. He still plays this. Like, it doesn't seem to matter like what the meta is. Keduii will play Tristana. It just so happens that Tristana is in meta right now, so yeah, pretty obvious pick right there for him.
I think this was a good good pick up here though for Ryuzaki, picking up the Trundle, understandable one. You know, You look at the pool that's been pinched out, you think, yeah, you could play Zinzao, but the Trundle has such good skirmishing, and Mumma's going to get his hands on a pretty Mumma's special pick here, actually, in the Gnar. So, going to throw that up in the top lane. Does mean we probably see the AD carry pool get pinched a little bit, or potentially the mid lane pool. Expecting Big probably to lock themselves in something that will pair up well with this Tristana in the bot side. They can split there, but actually no, they're just going to pick up Rika, this Sylas, thinking already there's quite a few decent ultimates to steal away. Can use that Gnar bar very effectively because it's on demand. Obviously the subjugate as well, making the tankier members even weaker. Rika's just going to pick that up, so expect to see the support pool get pinched out here by Z10. Probably Big just going to look to focus away the mid laners a little bit more here.
Yeah, it could also be focused down the bot side if you want to really screw over mihai. The thing with mihai is he's got quite a unique champion pool, plays a lot of mages bot side as well. So really trying to like punish him in draft is quite difficult to do because he plays a lot of different style of champion. As you said though, Jake, bang on, mid lane focus going to be there for Big in the second rotation. You've already banned away a decent amount of mid laners, the Jace, the Aurelia, the Ryze as well coming through here. Obviously with Sylas being picked up. So that's going to be the Ryze, and then the Blitzcrank takeaway. That is interesting because obviously Blitzcrank isn't particularly meta. I can't see any games where seaz has played Blitzcrank.
I know he's considered a Thresh counter because Thresh has to stand still to throw the hook out, and then you can hook him in response.
You also can't. So Thresh likes to. In order to save people, Thresh has to be away from them, and if you grab Thresh in, he can't save anyone. Like it's decent, sure, but like it's very situational. He does one thing, right? He grabs, and if he doesn't grab, he's just not a champion. So weird one, but it is what they decide to ban away. The LeBlanc getting taken away by Rika as well. Understandable pick up here, very aggressive and would match up well with that Trundle. Does mean that now the mid lane pool has been heavily pinched, and we'll see what this final support pickup is going to be, or support ban realistically. They're actually going to go and turn their attention towards Melonik's GP. Obviously, GP is something we do occasionally see picked up into the Gnar. Isn't considered like a hard counter, but it's considered to have a pretty decent matchup into him. So we'll see what the attention's going to be here as far as expecting a support pickup here for the side of Big. The thing is, like, you already know what you're going up against anyway, so it's like it doesn't matter too much. You've got the counter pick for both these teams, so it's going to be that Kennen taken away for topside. Kennen with that really strong team fight, able to match the prowess of a Gnar in the team fights as well. So like, if you get two TPs coming in, Gnar coming in having that huge impact with his wallop and whatnot, and the big Gnar, Keduii, sorry, no, it's not Keduii, Melonik, sorry, with the Kennen. Can do similar thing, right? TP and match it really nicely.
Oh my lord, we just got Kassadin.
Okay, all right. Kassadin mid for meight. I like this. Into Sylas as well. There's not a lot of threat for you against you in that mid lane. You can get a little bit of scaling going on there. Trundle plus Kassadin as well. Gonna bop some heads. Nice pick. I like it.
And I want to see something that's pretty aggressive in the mid lane, in the bot lane, because you can't sit back and chill. This meta moves way too quick. If you pick a scaling AD here, you're probably just handing the game over. So they go for something like the Xayah, can play pretty aggressive, can also hold the waves, because that's something they're heavily lacking now, is when you do pick up the likes of a Kassadin, you have to get into melee range to clear the waves. So I like this as the pickup here. The Xayah, obviously, elements of safety, elements of aggression, and that wave clear kind of adds what Z10 are kind of missing into their comp. And Big looking just to pick up themselves up to support now, something that can maybe start the fights for the team in the Leona here, with those long-range solar flares to lock down the likes of meight and mihai on these two carries.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I'm a bit scared I'm scared for Kassadin in this game against all the CC that you have from Big. It's like it's so much CC. Like, Kassadin can be really strong in the right situations, in the right scenarios. The thing is, like, if he does get locked down, he dies pretty fast, and that's one of the reasons why he's good solo queue champion and always a little bit worse in professional play, because it's just a lot easier to coordinate with your team to lock him down and to burst him. So I do think it's pretty interesting though, and it's strong in the side lane. Like, I don't think there's anyone that's going to be able to match Kassadin in that side lane. I think Sylas does a decent enough job, but it's not. Yeah, it's definitely nothing to write home about. And of course, Sylas doesn't have any ultimate to steal from Kassadin either. He does, but it's nothing sexy. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting to watch. Might's played Aurelia, now he's playing Kassadin. Very exciting play to watch in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Kassadin's always fun in theory, but then a lot of the times it's like, oh god, this champ needs a lot of levels to be actually really useful.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how they're able to kind of, follow the resources necessary to make the Kassadin able to take over the game, because there is a point. This game is now effectively on a timer for Big, because if Mike gets to, a later game stage, gets a bunch of kills funneled in early, then yes, he's going to be scary. He's going to be capable of doing a lot of damage, but I also do think Big are giving themselves amazing tools to even stop that from happening from Might.
Yeah, they do, and also I think like even if Might gets pretty big, like if he jumps into Kennen presses R, Leona's got the CC for him, Tristana can knock him out again. Like it's actually gonna be. You think about how you navigate the fights if you're Might, and it's not simple. It's pretty difficult to do. We'll see how that one plays out. I think the comps from Big is much more kind of standard. Much more comfort as well for these guys. Rika's playing his most played champion. Keduii being, Tristana and Ez like his two most played champions. Leona is seaz's most played champion. Like we've got a lot of comfort here from Big. Very traditional comp. A lot of engage. If Big get ahead, you can expect this game to blow wide open with the amount of triggers they got on their team.
Alrighty, well, we are on to the Rift for game number 3. From the EBL, excuse me. From the EBL, we got Z10. The side of Big, this is from the Dark Prime League. The first seed here, who lost to Fnatic Rising, a team who have struggled all year long. So it's very much them playing for pride right now for the side of Big. They really need to find a win and get themselves on the board, because you only have so many games during the group stages. You do not want to be losing the first 2.
Absolutely not. Especially in a group like this, a really hard group to get out of. It's going to be pretty tricky if you drop this game as well, especially against Zero Tenacity. This is, like you said, the #1 team coming out of the EVL, coming out of the Balkans. It is a region that often, it doesn't have the best performances in EUM. Historically, they've only made it out of groups once. It's definitely not a region that you want to drop too many games to if you are looking to make it far into EU Masters. And Big maybe got a wake-up call from yesterday's game against Fnatic Rising, a game which they were favoured to win, but unfortunately for them, weren't able to bring home the W. And I still expect higher things from Big, high things from the Dark region in general.
Yeah, expectation is fairly high here for Big, and these are one of the, what I said at the beginning of the day, quote-unquote easier games, but like you said earlier at the beginning of this matchup, Z10 had a good game yesterday.
Yeah.
So you can't sleep on some of these free win teams, because I don't think there's such a thing as a free win team at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like a cruel phrase to use, but exactly as you say, like it just doesn't exist. there is no free win team. Like even in these smaller regions, like the Balkans and Greece and Italy, we saw yesterday as well, put up some really good performances against teams that were heavy favourites and just not quite able to close it out. But either way, Z10 were one of those teams that had a very good showing and almost won against Illuminar yesterday. Big obviously wanting to get back on track right here. Previous winners, obviously, of E-Masters a few years back, were 3rd in the regular season, but managed to really pull it out during those playoffs and make it out as the first seed. And get a little bit of trade in mid lane from Rika here.
Oh, I mean, might actually, wow!
Ouch.
Apparently Kassadin does a little bit of early damage. Electrocute's pretty effective, as with the health bar this low, Ryuzaki actually able to get a pretty nice trade versus Akabane.
Yeah, I think it's more... Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be a big contest right here. Rika has the teleport. Is he going to get back in time? There's a ward right there at the bottom of your screen. Is he going to get in?
Trying to slide into steal. I didn't see who picked it up. I believe it was stolen away, as Ryozaki's going to be able to get himself out for a moment as he goes down for first blood. Rika takes out Meight as the flash is burnt, and now Melonik trying to find the turnaround, but it's not enough. Z10 find 2.
That early skirmishing from Z10, superior to Big. Rika had to use that TP to join the play as well, so he's not got it to get back in after this fight. That's going to give even more breathing room to Meight right here. Get that shove in. Very, very good start from Z10. Perfect start for these guys.
Have a look at the fight once again. There's a nice little steal, unfortunately. There was a nice little turnaround by Z10, and you're going to feel the pain there a little bit.
Well, let me just say, as someone who likes to partake in a bit of the jungle myself, if you get the crab, it's always worth. So yeah, well played there, Akabane right there. The French jungler for big. He got the objective, and that's all that matters.
I believe Keduii and seaz actually took the bot lane crab as well while that was all going on. So there's no crab for Ryuzaki this game, but I think a kill and assist probably going to be enough for him to be quite happy. State of that.
He'll take that.
I mean, you know, double rat top lane. One of the rats got bigger in that fight. Turned into a guinea pig.
Is that it? Like the evolution of rats, rat into guinea pig? I swear rats are bigger than guinea pigs, man. Rats can get pretty bloody big.
Rats can actually get really big. I mean, there's ones in history that were known to be the size of cats.
Jeez.
Back in the trenches.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they had cats in the trenches, isn't it? So they could get rid of the rats.
Yeah, but apparently the rats started eating the cats and got to the size of them. Maybe they were just really muddy cats. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it must be pretty hard to differentiate between a muddy cat and a rat. Either way, in this game, I don't think either of the top laners are that muddy in this one. They have been scrapping around a little bit, but not a huge amount. Just that little fight in the top river. Is the first dragon going down for Akabane right there? That's 2 objectives secured from him as a jungler, that top crab, and the bot dragon. And this bot crab's about to spawn again. You can already see that CS difference between the 2 junglers. Pretty big right now, and it's only going to grow. And
we saw yesterday, especially, what Viego is able to do if they get the resources put into them, if they get to that point where they get very, very strong. Viego champion the resets with their kind of pseudo-invulnerability, or it isn't pseudo-invulnerability, with the Zhonya's that heals you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Disgusting ability that is. 2021 champion.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Big have both Sylas and Viego. 2 champs I just can't stand.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Those are very frustrating champs to play against. Maybe that's why they've drafted that to get the mental edge over Z10, tilt them into oblivion.
Mate, so Kingslayer Hill is bonkers. It's actually bonkers.
It really is. It's pretty grim. And you're going to have to invest in some of that anti-heal, you know, if you're going up against big.
Yeah.
For both Sylas and Viego, you're going to have to get that. And we'll see who picks it up, because there's not really great options. Like, when you're looking for anti-heal, it's not as simple as buying the item, because you really want to consider how well your champion applies the Grievous Wounds effect.
Yeah.
So you've got, like, for example, if you've got like long range, then that's good. You can apply it from far away. If you've got AoE, that's great as well. You can apply it to multiple people. And if you've got consistent damage, it means that, you know, it's not just one ability that has a 10-second cooldown and then you apply Grievous Wounds for a few seconds. Now you want to be able to like continuously apply it. So some champions are better than others, and that's why AD carries are pretty good at it, because they're always auto-attacking people. Either way, that's a bit of a tangent there. It's going to be the third objective of the game for Big, taking away Herald here. Pretty much free, like you don't have to dedicate too much here at all. Big are just getting whatever they want.
I feel Ryuzaki just not feeling the strength right now. It's starting to feel the hurt somewhat, as Keduii has to be a little careful, dodging away on the hook. And mihai not able to pick that plate up either, so lovely little pick up there for Keduii, able to hold, and Ryuzaki trying to go for an invade, but has just been spotted out by the big bot lane. Might now got level 6 and holy moly, that damage.
My goodness, that's actually pretty grim, because the silence coming through from the Kassadin Q means that Rika can't just insta-turn it back for the trade. If Maya just walks away after he jumps in with his burst, there's zero counterplay.
He's able to jump away, dodges out on the chain lash, but Rika can chase after him. The CC chain too big, but he jumps over the wall. His heart is broken. Now there's another Kassadin on the rift.
Uh-oh.
Great little flay, great little pillar means Z10 going to be able to get their bot lane out scot-free. It's just a singular kill.
Still, definitely take that one. Rico being able to get, well, it doesn't pick up the kill, but gets a little bit of pressure taken away from him. As you saw, he was struggling in those trades in that mid lane, so anything that help him out a tad would be great, and obviously accelerating a Viego, giving him some kills, beautiful stuff as well.
As we're approaching the 10-minute mark, the gold lead is actually even right now. But with Akabane having the Rift Herald in the pocket, expect to see that get used, although Mumus forces the flash and ult out of Melonik.
I think
Maybe
Melonik
a little
thought
bit
there was
worried
someone
about
else.
where.
Yeah. He thought that was that Mumus had friends, so he was just respecting that one, getting out of it. Fortunately, though, if you time like the ultimate with his TP, it should still, those two should come up like together. So if Melonik wants to make a TP play, he will have his ult up for that. But losing your flash as Kennen is always a big thing. It's always painful to lose flash on champions who either have like low mobility, like let's say a Twisted Fate or a Jinx, or a champion that has really sick engage like Kennen. Like the value of the flash is just exponentially higher. Melonik's going to get a good trade in here, and so not having that down is definitely going to hurt him.
Mumus just have to be a little bit careful because Akabane looking to wrap around. Mumus, Narbar not really stacked up. Melonik doesn't have the ulti, and the Hop's going to get the flash out. Mumus didn't get the second bounce. That's buy himself some space and just a little bit too over eager up there. I mean, Mumus have to step away. Almost has that teleport back as meight was getting a nice little trade off onto Rika. But Rika doing a great job of trading straight back into him. I'm thoroughly impressed so far with might's laning phase versus Rika. Jumping in, but like I said, Kingslayer, bonkers ability, all his health back.
Yep. And this is why in the extended fights, Sylas can do pretty well, because he's got the Conqueror, he can trade back with his heal and whatnot. Might's in trouble though.
Oh, hello. Jumping in again, gets that Kingslayer, gets the chain last, the lantern to safety. Hook from downtown as well. Lovely little save there on the Thresh. They've got the dragon spawning up, and I think Z10 may just have to give this one up, although Mike does have teleport, and Mumus has actually walked over. Rika's now stealing away the Mega Gnar. It's going to be pretty hard for the side of Z10 to actually be able to fight that around this objective, but it looks like they want to. They're bringing people up. They've got Mihai in the area, Might's in the area, Akabane gonna get spotted out, but a lot of free time being bought from Melonik. Like you said, teleport and ulti is available. They're jumping in and they're looking for Keduii. He just instantly flashes out as the solar flare connects on to the Xayah. Already the dragon has been stolen away and Meight has joined in. The Featherstorm's been thrown down, and can Melonik find his opportunity? They've got the Thunderstorm and it's locking everybody in place, but Mer's about to Gnar out, and just like that, Zero Tenacity find themselves the fight. 3 members of Big Fool.
Great team fight right there from Zero Tenacity, being able to punish Big for their disrespectful play around that dragon. Unfortunately, they weren't quite able to take the objective itself, but still 3 kills. You can see now that goal difference starting to grow just a little bit. Getting some strength onto the Gnar and onto the Trundle. We're going to see it again. Now, for me, the big thing about this play is how late Melonik gets in with the TP. Like, he's only started channeling it right now, and at this point, the fight's pretty much done. Look at it, like Melonik's going to get in just now, and it's like, what? 2 people are already dead. You can't do anything there. Keduii was forced out right from the beginning, and it looked greedy. Honestly, we saw in the picture-in-picture, the bottom left of your screen, we saw what Melonik was doing. He wanted to get that one more wave. He used his E to clear out the wave as well. That has a long cooldown. Just needs to get in there a little bit earlier, but still, what Big's loss is Z10's gain. They're going to win that team fight.
Looking for a pick onto Z10. Great play to try and buy some time. They got that lantern. The flash is going to get used, and Mike tries to come in. Melonik's on the flank. No ultimate, but look at the Gnar! By Mumus, looking at everybody in place, but his heart is broken. He's locked down. Shutdown picked up for Rika. Big flip it back around and find themselves 2.
Just when you thought 0-10, they were winning the game, they were making the fights happen, they take one minute later, and they lose it instead. Big just having a really good comeback right there. Look at this 3-man movement into the map from Big. Really pairing up beautifully. Support plus jungle plus mid lane. It's a 3v3 sort of, but because Z10 are there just a little bit too late, doesn't really count for anything. And sure, Mumus gets a nice ultimate off, but it's too late at that point. Just doesn't matter. This is also kind of a bit of a Conqueror diff a little bit there. When you've got Viego with his healing and Conqueror, you got Rika with his healing and Conqueror. Like, you just last for so long in those situations.
And I mean, 300 damage coming out from Mike. I was watching Mike during that replay. He just couldn't go in. This is exactly what we're talking about. Too much CC, too much AoE. If he steps in once, he just would have died. He has a lot of burst. People are locked down, and in close quarters like that, typically, something like a Kassadin would shine, but he just did not want to step forward, because into a Leona, into all that CC. He just would have melted. He's got himself the tenacity boots, so, you know, not really playing towards his team's name there. He actually has some tenacity.
Mate, have you been sitting on that one?
I honestly only just came up with it, and I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, you should be, man. You should be. Well done. Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, Kassadin is kind of viewed as like a level 16 champion, especially when you play him in solo queue. But honestly, it's like 2 items as well. Like, he wants to get his mythic, and he wants to maybe even get like the Archangels, maybe the Zhonya's. I'm just going to be in a bit of trouble though.
Yeah, Solar Flare goes a little bit wide. They've got the Lantern. They just gnar him back with his own ultimate, and Akabane able to find a pretty easy kill. There's now the Gnars on the other side.
This death squad is terrifying from the side of Big.
All the lockdown, and that is just a solo kill. Keduii gets 2 towers as well in response, and they're going to summon the Rift Tail, sure, in the mid lane, but Akabane coming in with Rika at the back end, and these ones that steal your forms and steal your ultimates, they'll steal everything from you. The charge for 3 towers at the end of the day is going to be the trade. Big just slingshotting the gold forward in their favor.
Seriously, the last like 2-3 minutes, what the hell happened? Big went from losing a team fight around Dragon, being 1k gold down, to just deciding they didn't want to be 1k gold down anymore and just turning it all around. Like, seriously, the way they moved around the map, they grouped up together with Keduii, sorry, not Keduii, with seaz and Akabane and Rika, just moving about, finding picks, finding these favorable skirmishes. Really nice stuff right here from Big, and able to completely just take over this game. It's a huge goldie right now, over 3k, considering they were down 1k like a few minutes ago. It's ridiculous.
And that is it, 16 minutes on the clock. The gold lead, like you said, just gone so far up. 3,000 gold. From small to big. Big are in control of this game and in control of the map. Gonna look to shove this wave, and you got the Tristana, so you got the Demolitionist here. Gotta do a lot of damage to this tower. I just don't think Z10 can really do much other than watch this tower go down. Dragon spawning up, this will be the 3rd one for Big as well. Z10 just not in the position to even get close to contesting this.
And this will be the 3rd dragon of the game as well, because Big stole away the dragon in the last play. Oh, that thought was a bit of a fight happening here. Keduii could be caught. Just gonna just walk away from that one. That's fine. Gets the dragon. That's now they're on soul point. 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Melonik got the flash not up, but does have that slicing maelstrom. Gonna take a lantern over the wall to safety. Able to get away. The tower did get taken out by Meight on the top side of the rift, so was able to pick that one up.
You'll probably, I think you'll be happy with that. You'll be happy with that if you're 0-10. Like, you really want to get Kassadin online right here, and you're either looking to get, like, you finish your mythic, you're looking to get either Zhonya's or Archangels next. You know, Kassadin is a champion that needs to go a little bit later. He can have some good matchups in lane phase, which means that you can actually leverage him before it gets to late game. But if you don't have a good early, then it's really hard to, you know, you basically just have to wait. You have to wait a really long time before it becomes particularly useful. And that's kind of what happened this game. He doesn't have very proactive tools early on. In fact, he has basically 0 proactive tools. So he's just going to be sitting there chilling and farming up. 0-10 going out of position though, because Big.
Yeah, look at the fight. Look for Rika on the flank. The feather sword's been used. Can they get the damage out really? The answer is no, but the feathers get pulled back, and here's Meight on the flank. Melonik comes in with a slicing maelstrom, and now Might's getting jumped onto by Keduii. He has to jump away. A lot of damage coming out from Mihai, but he's locked down. He flashes out for safety. He's just about able to survive. Big with blinking health bars find themselves 2 kills and somehow get away with losing nobody.
That was a great turn right here from Big. They pull the trigger and they get the TPs in first. This is the important thing. Look at Melonik's TP. It's perfectly timed. In the fight that they lost, this TP was way more delayed, and look at all the power that he can have shredding through that backline right there. And not only does he bring down Trundle, but he keeps the rest of Z10 on that side of the map away from the rest of his team, which means they can all focus on and deal with the Kassadin. He didn't really have much impact in that game, in that fight, excuse me. Really just TP'd in, didn't have his ultimates charges up, and wasn't able to put down any damage.
Absolutely. You know, There was definitely an opportunity to get a double kill, but I think the hesitancy because of the amount of CC was there, and that is the big flaw with the Kassadin pick. Is there's always going to be that level of hesitancy to jump into this big lineup. There's way too much CC. Yep. You know, you think they've used it all. You still got the chain lash. You still got the shield of daybreak or dawn or whatever. I can't remember which one. I think it's daybreak. You still got a lot of CC, and it makes your life incredibly hard. You've obviously got the Spectral Maw as well from Akabane. And Big is just going to start Baron up, and it will be a very quick Baron. We criticized PDW in the last game for how slow their Baron was. Z10, they are aware this is going on. They're trying to move in. Ryuzaki spots it out. Slowly but surely, they're making their way over. Solar Flare, not going to hit off too many members. Watch out for the slicing Maelstrom as the feathers may just look to get pulled back at any moment here. Mummus is on his own, so he gets himself knocked back by Rika. Rika just gets him with his own ultimate. Chain Lash goes a little bit wide. Baron has been stopped, however, and they traded support for top laner. So Z10 can be okay with that in a 1-for-1 when you're down in gold.
And in a game where you're just looking to buy some time, a 1-for-1, absolutely, you'll take that any day of the week. You got a little bit more time bought from that play. You did have to use your TP from Mummus to get back into the top side of the map, but all in all, not too shabby right there. But now this is the thing, you just got to keep being scared of this because you've lost this TP, right? Once you lost that TP from Mummus, it means now that if Big just want to run it back and do the exact same play again, you don't have the same kind of answer. And so if you're sticking Mummus, like, in the same, like, if you're making him do the Peasant's TP and walking up to Baron, then he's in
TP.
He's in a bit of a pickle. Yeah.
I love it. Anyway, Soul spawning up in 50 seconds time. You know, and I'd say we've had a lot of Cloud Souls today. This is a team that actually kind of uses that Cloud Soul pretty well. Melonik wants that extra movement speed. You kind of highlighted that earlier.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Viego
when you're flashless on the Kennen, it's really hard to kind of position the ultimate. Flash isn't as important, but even if you do have Flash and Slicing Maelstrom is impossible to get away from now. If he gets that soul, he's going to be so speedy.
Absolutely.
Speedy Zappy Boy.
Speedy Zappy Boy in the top side. Viego's going to, whenever he jumps in with the Heartbreak, it's going to speed through as well. Leona on the engage can jump in a little bit faster, and Rika obviously, as he's going to steal something. I mean, move speed on someone like Sylas is always really nice too. It is going to be the Cloud Soul, as you were mentioning, 5 seconds from now. Big going to get that mid push. They're so far ahead. It's the Gnar stolen again for Rika. The big team fight ulti. This is Z10's last chance to save this game before this all goes down.
They're going to look to try and get into the pit. Ryuzaki gets himself locked down in places. That is going to be the steal for Z10. But the ensuing fight is just gone oh so wrong. The feathers come out and Keduii is popping off. Double kill picked up for Keduii. A clean ace for the side of Big, not dropping a single member. They're going to turn the rise to Baron.
They stopped the soul from going down, but it cost them everything. 5 people dead. The Baron's going to get taken down here as well. Rika's even able to get that push in the bot side. Big winning that team fight, coming up huge. And they're going to be well in control of this game.
23 minutes on the clock with a gigantic gold lead. Sure, they don't have soul, but they have Baron, and they're going to be quite happy with that one.
They can always just wait another 4 minutes until Dragon spawns again, if the game isn't over by then as well. Like at this point, you know, you can stick Sylas on a side lane. You don't have any good answer. The Kassadin cannot respond into that right now. We're going to take another look at this one. Z10, they know they've got to go for this one. It's the soul. They're trying to contest it. But look at Melonik's position with the Slicing Maelstrom. Look at Rika with his ult as well. Oh my goodness.
3 members.
Yeah. Yo, God. Yo, Gnar on Sylas does so much damage with that AP scaling coming through. That's absolutely ridiculous. Keduii as well, just jumping forwards, doing Tristana things, and we'll see now.
I was watching the Dragon see stole it. I was not paying attention to how disgusting the Gnar Slicing Maelstrom combo was on the top side of Big. Beautiful stuff as Sylas gets himself over the wall, gets a solar flare, and that might just be one dead Thresh. Getting popped there, nice and easy. A form to steal away. Akabane does have to be somewhat careful as getting jumped onto, just heartbreaks over the wall to break the form and break his siege. And it just feels like the Kassadin win con, that timer has just been pushed so far back, but Meight still sitting on components of that second item. A long, long way away from being effective because he's dead. Keduii makes easy work of him. And that is going to be the Baron Siege coming up huge here. Mumus is going to have to make some kind of a miracle happen. Might not up for 30 seconds time. And the Mega Gnar about to time out as well. Mihai losing all of his health by himself as he tries to pull back the feathers, but the stopwatch is going to be enough to slow him down. And there's a very delayed box into Lantern. Mumus flashes back onto the fountain. The Feather Storm gets thrown out. The Slicing Maelstrom is going to get used, and they're going to find themselves a quick shutdown on the Keduii. But the minions are just doing the work onto the tower, and Z10 are forced back oh so low. They've got themselves the kills, but their base is open. They're out of opportunities. Maybe a teleport flank from Mumus could be enough. He's going to go for it. There's a one for him to take, but Big are running away to safety. Here comes Meight. They got to slow down. Mumus steals away the form, gets the Gnar, doesn't get it into the wall, gets himself hooked. The shutdown's been picked up by Extra out of safety for the moment. And Mumus gets the Gnar back. Meight gets himself a second shutdown. And just like that, Z10, they are still in it.
They found themselves the ace. Big were looking to end the game, but got greedy. Keep your eyes here on Keduii, how he plays this fight. He absolutely slaughtered Meight in this play, but then he jumps into the middle of everyone. Look at him. He just gets popped, instantly dies, and look at the huge minion wave. This was Big's game to close out right here. Just greedy stuff, but perfectly punished from Zero Tenacity. Great TP flank. Fortunately, the Gnar already had some of his Gnar bar up as well. They're going to finish off the rest of these guys, and the gold going over might get his 800 gold right there as well. Really important. He gets another one onto Kennen. We talked about how slow and how far back this Kassadin's power spike was going to be. That certainly helps his case.
Yeah, but look at that gold lead. It's still big. Big R.
Yeah.
10 turrets to 2. An open Nexus. And they've got all the time in the world to play for. 40 seconds until this Cloud Soul comes up. Keduii probably won't sprint into the team again. I think he's going to pay his respects, but you know, Meight is strong. 2 levels to go until that level 16 mark. I don't think the game's going to give him the time to get to level 16, however.
No.
Mihai 3 items though, so that could be the opportunity. And Melonik gets pretty heavily chunked out, so we are seeing a little bit of damage coming down here.
Yeah, but it's like even if you get like a little bit of positive from Z10, like that trade which breaks the siege, you still now have to deal with the fact that the soul is spawning. So it's like, okay, yeah. Even if you get something, it's never really going to be quite nice.
It's only a Cloud Soul. It's not like an Infernal. It's not an Ocean.
I think when all's said and done, the soul itself doesn't really change the landscape of this game. So you're right, you can definitely just sit there and let that one go down. Now Z10 going to have to really, they're going to have to pull something out here to get this defense. They're getting sieged in from mid, from top, so Super Minions doing work, and the entirety of Big Squad as well, knocking down this last tower.
Meight almost level 16, he just wants that last tick. Maybe there's an opening as Mumus is taking so much damage, about to Gnar out. Can he find the opportunity to jump in? No, he can't. He's already dead. And Melonik is just looking to end the game. Meight jumps in forward, finds the stun, finds the snare. For the moment, they're just looking to jump in forward once again. Rika's looking for it. There's Melonik jumping in with a slicing maelstrom. Everyone on Big goes gold as the feathers get pulled back. It's a triple kill. It's a complete whitewash for Big. Maybe got a little bit longer than they needed to. At the end of the day, Big find themselves the win.
And it's their first win at E-Masters as well in 2021 summer. Having dropped that game previously to Fnatic, they definitely wanted to come out looking stronger today. And absolutely did that. It was a ridiculously dominant game from them. Really, really impressive stuff. Yeah, okay, they trolled it a bit at the end, but still, they didn't really look like they were ever going to lose that game. And just really impressive from Jeremy's #1.
I think the big thing is we do see Big actually return to what our expectations were. Yeah, there were some moments. Maybe, they got a little bit too greedy towards the end. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for Big. They found the win. That's what counts. Z10 now 0-2 at the start of everything. So, you know, they need to go back to the drawing board a little bit. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about this game. But now we're going to throw to a quick break. When we're back, we'll talk a little bit more about that third game. See you in a second. everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. Well, with that, Big did find their first win for themselves here at the Amazon EU Masters. But on the side of Z10, you know, there was that one moment, but that one moment was kind of gifted to them, if we're going to be completely honest, right?
Yeah, I think this one was probably... I mean, it was expected. It was definitely big favoured. But yeah, it was a very one-sided game all in all. This was the first team fight, honestly, the big team fight of the game. And Z10 really came out on top of this one. It was a little bit disrespectful from Big. I think their TP timings were a bit off here. But even like 1 minute or like 30 seconds after this fight had finished, Big just grouped up with their roaming death squad of support, jungle and mid. And we're finding kills all over the map, and from that point they were just able to really take control. And once you got control and you're on soul point, like you're seeing here, you forced Z10 into face checking you, and really just able to win out all these team fights after that. And Z10 didn't stand much of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think the Kassadin pick didn't really have what they needed it to do. We kind of talked about the obvious problems was, you know, Big wanted you melee. They wanted you to be close to them, and Kassadin needs to jump in, but there was too much CC, there was too much AoE, there was way too much close range stuff for him to dodge, and ultimately, you know, even with this amazing play, you know, Big overstaying and a great punish by Z10, a great read to go for this punish. Yeah, it just felt like, you know, this was the most might offered to the team, and it was kind of a punish more than like an amazing outplay from him.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with Kassadin, like, you got to leverage the pretty strong lane that you can potentially have early on into that Sylas matchup and then get that level difference. But yeah, never really had that, unfortunately. Always playing from behind, essentially a 4v5 game once Kassadin is put behind early. And yeah, Keduii is really popping off on that Tristana, doing loads of work in those team fights.
Supports the same damage though, so you know, there's that. You can walk over that, but yeah, Keduii, almost 30k damage. Like, really solid stuff coming in from Keduii on the Tristana. And today it has been, you know, maybe last game we had some solid stuff coming in from Xayah, but it has felt a little bit. AD carries have been popping off today. We had Venza at the beginning of the day, really solid start from them. So yeah, I think, you know, finding that win there for Big, very important for this group because there are only so many games during the group stages. Dropping the game to Fnatic Rising was definitely not something that Big wanted to be doing because this group could go anyway. We really don't know who's going to be able to take it. Anyway, we're going to throw to a break. When we're back, we're going to have Fnatic Rising, funnily enough, taking on Illuminat. We'll actually be joined by a brand new pair of casters in Viper and Nymera. So we'll see you after this break.
He's going to flash in and he steals the farm. How does that connect by Edgeway?
Finish! As EU Masters Champions!
I'll just